First, make a sweet stiff starter. Mix together 40 grams of water, 40 grams of active starter, 80 grams of all-purpose flour, and 10 grams of sugar. Mix and knead until all the flour is incorporated and the dough comes together as a smooth ball. Use wet hands if needed. Rest 8 to 12 hours before making the dough. To the bowl of a stand mixer, add 300 grams of water, 50 grams of barley malt, all of the sweet stiff starter, ,500 grams of bread flour, ,20 grams of vital wheat gluten, and 10 grams of salt. Roughly mix, then transfer to your stand mixer. For the angustroom, use the dough roller and scraper attachments and knead on a speed 3. For a KitchenAid, use the dough hook attachment and knead on a speed 2 for about 10 to 12 minutes. For the angustroom, adjust the roller as necessary so that the roller works the dough against the side of the bowl, and use a spoon as needed to help the dough along until everything comes together. Once the dough comes together, set the timer for 12 minutes and knead the dough for the entire time. Once the time is up, remove the dough and knead by hand for 1 to 2 minutes to form a ball. Then transfer your dough to a proofing container to rest until it doubles in size. Turn the dough out onto a clean counter and divide into 8 sections, 125 to 130 grams each. Pre-shape each section into a round by tucking all ends underneath and pinching the seams on the bottom closed. Cover and rest for about 20 minutes to allow the gluten a chance to relax before the bagels are stretched. To stretch the bagels, poke a hole into the center, then rotate and stretch the dough until the hole in the center is the size of your liking. For bagels with pronounced holes, you'll want to stretch the dough twice as much as I have done in this video, and divide the bagels between 2 sheet pans, as they will not all fit on one. If the dough will not stretch as far as you like, let it rest, then try again in another 20 minutes. After the bagels are shaped, cover them and proof for 1 to 3 more hours. Once the bagels are done proofing, prepare a work area. You'll need a pot of boiling water, a 1/4 cup of barley malt, a skimmer, a wire rack over a baking sheet for draining, and possibly a new sheet pan for the boiled bagels. To the boiling water, add a 1/4 cup of barley malt. Add the proofed bagels to the boiling water, taking care not to overcrowd the pan. If the bagels were proofed correctly, they should float immediately. Boil the bagels for 40 to 60 seconds per side, or up to 2 minutes for the chewiest texture. I find 40 seconds to be my personal preference. Remove the bagels from the boiling water and transfer to a wire rack to drain while you boil the next batch of bagels. This recipe is for plain bagels, but if you're wanting to add toppings to your bagels, do so right after they're removed from the water and are still a bit wet and sticky. You can dunk the bagels in sesame seeds, poppy seeds, dried minced onion, or even cinnamon sugar. Once the bagels have had a minute to drip dry, transfer them back onto a baking sheet. Bake at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 minutes. Transfer to a cooling rack and cool for 15 to 20 minutes before slicing. And that's it, sourdough bagels. For more information about this recipe, including ingredient conversions, substitution options, and suggested baking timelines, visit this recipe on my website, linked in the description below. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this recipe, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more.